who still do not feel ready to return. The stalemate underscores the difficulty of President Biden's goal to reopen most schools within his first 100 days. And back here, as they look for a deal,
good morning.
Good morning, Chef.
Medal of Honor when offered by the Trump administration two times. I feel like if I take it, I think you're in politics, so I'm not sure. I don't work for those awards or not, but I'm not sure that that I even deserve it. Yeah, so she turned it down a couple of times, said what would happen if offered by the Biden administration, and she just critical. We'll have more on that whole conversation with Dolly in the fourth hour. But first, we're going to chat with that country queen about a very first in her life starring in the Super Bowl. First up, we are going to celebrate the remarkable life and career of a Hollywood icon. How old will do that right after this? Covered you for COPD. No matter how you COPD, it's time to make a stand. Started with drugs. No one daily COPD medicine is power to treat COPD is made with Trelegy. There are 3 medicines in one of these. Trelegy helps people breathe easier and improve.
All right. It is that time of the morning. Hold on 1 second. All right. It is Tuesday. So happy Tuesday. I'm gonna show you kind of where just to make sure everybody knows where the costing sheet is located. It is, costing sheet is going to be right here on day 20. And there is 2 examples of a costing sheet, or of a pineapple fritter and a meat pie. Here are 2 examples of how to call, or how to kind of put it together. There is an order guide right here that has some stuff in it, some pricing right here. I can kind of see it goes down. And then I have another, hold on. Another pricing guide right here of all the ingredients as well. So you can use those to cost out your recipes. Just want to make sure everybody knew that.
Excuse me, Chef.
Yes.
Is that going to be shared to all of us, or are we going to have to go to the portable?
You have to go on the portal. I just have it. So on day 20, if you go to day 20, Here, let me show you where. So if you click on the portal, it might look a little different, but you scroll down to where it says day 20, click on day 20, and there is the costing sheet and there is the master ingredient list. So hopefully everybody got that. Let's see, let me get this. All right, get this party started. Okay, talking about menus. Let's see, price. The menus, there are three important aspects of a food cost: price, recipe mix, and tracking. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, day 21. Okay, cool. I don't want to be repeating like I did yesterday. Recipe mix and tracking. Menu engineering. Do you mind reading menu engineering? Oh, okay. No, never mind. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Guest needs to spend under 2 minutes looking at the menu, and we've already kind of talked about that. It's like the 109 seconds, or I think yesterday it said 90 seconds. So anyway, give or take. But the menu psychology. So what you're trying to do is basically design your menu, so where it is attractive to the eye and makes people want to have it, right? And you want to make sure that you have some that are kind of like yesterday we were talking about dogs and stars and all of that, and you want to make sure there are going to be profitable portions or profitable dishes or high profitability dishes. So you just need to manage that and make sure that all of those are, you give them choices in popular items as well. Let's see. Menu engineering process can increase, and it can increase it by, this says 15%, but it's going to increase it, okay? And it's just trying to get people to notice these things on the menu, the ones that are high profitability, right? Are profitable. Putting a box around it, putting a dotted line, putting like a red box or a different, just doing something to italicize it, to make it stand out more, all of that. Restaurant engineering, our restaurant menu engineering has many benefits beyond increasing your profit, right? You have a good mix, right? You want to have a good mix of different dishes. You want chicken, seafood, all of that. You get a good different kind of mix of different products there. Let's see overall profitability. All right, we've kind of talked all about that before. By laying out your design for profitability, and again, this is kind of a repeat, of kind of laying it out, right? Because we've already talked about, and we went through menus after menus, right? I think last week or the week before, to talk about what is a good menu and how it, you should be able to, make things stand out. But let's see, the first item, let's see, a long-term memory. Okay, so basically we're trying to get that kind of get them to kind of get it in their long-term memory and have that recall, if you will. But just making sure that you kind of honestly, guys, just making a menu look like with the dotted lines, making it look clean, not too busy. And I think there was a one that we had, one of the menus we showed was a kind of a Mexican food restaurant a few weeks ago. And it was just so busy, so many colors, and it was too much. And that really takes away, and you've just got to make sure you make it look so where you have that it's laid out properly. Laying out your design for profitability, again, laying it out so where you're not like sandwiching everything together like this, right? You want to make it a little bit easier to read. You want to this is too busy. This is too much. The menu, you need to kind of spread it out a little bit. The items need to be a little easier to read. I mean, what do y'all think about this menu, right? Sorry, hold on. Thought I taken it off. All right. But this menu is hard to read. There's no pricing. There's no descriptions. Any of those things, you've just got to really be careful with and make sure it's laid out so where people can see it and understand it. It's not, all over the place, all over the map. Using eye movement pattern, like do you remember like that we saw in the there was a video that we watched, and we were talking about he had this person wearing glasses, and it was a guy, I think, was doing monkfish, wanted to make the monkfish better, but just remember those eye movement patterns, the up, down, left, right, where the sweet spot is, where all of those are. And, you want to make sure that you kind of, you can put certain items on a menu or certain areas so where you're optimizing the eye, where everybody is looking at the same time, and it just really helps out with basically your bottom line in a way, because I think he raised his prices, or not raised his prices, but he sold more monkfish just by moving it up to the very top where the eye movement pattern starts. So where they see it right off the bat and then they go down. So just making sure that you follow that eye movement or eye pattern when it comes to that. And this is it right here. You see like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's that menu reading pattern that I was talking about. So the sweet spots are right here, right here, right here. So there's a certain sweet spots that you can put in and have, so where you're not going to you're going to optimize or try to get more profitable, be more profitable by just moving around those items so you can see it a little bit better. And those are kind of the areas where the customer is going to look, and it's a little bit easier. Again, here's an eye magnet, right? Things that will draw your eye to here. Bam, bam, oops. Those little things, those where it says dessert, it's got a little cake on it, or beverage, it's got a it's it's got a cup on it. So those are the things that, help bring your eyes to those certain things, right? The color as well. The different color, it makes it pop so you can see it a little bit more. So these things right here is kind of what we're wanting you to do when you create your menu. Okay, another eye magnets, right? Color, large print, photos, illustrations, a little bit of negative space. A little bit of negative space does good, but too much is not good either. So you've got to be really watch out on that. Excuse me, the negative space. Let's see, in call out boxes or frames. Yeah, okay. Call out boxes are like the framing it right here, like the bestseller with the line around it, or the drinks with the dotted line, the ice cream with the dotted line, or whatever else. Those things are good. Makes it pop. The photos, again, I'm okay with photos as long as they illustrate the real, like what it's going to be when the customers get it. You don't want them to seeing a burger they're not going to be getting, right? So make sure that they match up and it matches up with the theme of your restaurant as well. Larger fonts, yeah, like just any of these larger fonts right here, like food menu, they just make it pop a little bit more. A little more eye magnet. Color really does make you draw your eyes to the menu, like this, reds or whites or whatever, the coloring. But again, make sure it does not what I would call you don't want it to go against the color of your theme, right? Your theme of your restaurant or your color scheme of your restaurant. You want to make sure it goes with it, not against it, and make it, so where it's a bright pink menu, you don't want, and you have dark green, I don't know, as your ambiance color in your restaurant. You want to make it flow really well. You don't want it to stand out. But again, reds, blues, greens. I mean, a green, or a light green, or kind of a paler green is more calming. A red is a little more get your attention a little bit more. So, there are things, colors that you can change to get people's attention, or to make people feel more calm, whatever else. So, all of those things, but just making colors do affect. Again, here you go, that kind of a, what is that? What's turquoise kind of, or whatever you want to call it, and kind of a peach or a pinkish color. Again, those colors are, that's kind of a calming, soothing, kind of a color compared to this red right here, right? So, this, I would say, if I was doing like a breakfast menu, something like this would be a really good breakfast menu. It's kind of calming. It's not as loud and obtrusive, kind of as this for like a breakfast menu. That would be, I think, a little too much for a breakfast menu. A little too bright. A little so where this is a little more soothing and calming type of deal. So, looking at the colors, I think also really helps you decide on what kind of menus for different day or different times of the day. I mean, lunch and dinner. Lunch, everybody's in a hurry. You can have I would say, you could have something like this, a red for like a lunch menu. This would be for breakfast and something like that. But, just colors. This is a very soothing color right here. I like that color, the dark green. And with the black, it pops. The white. The only thing the white font, sometimes, especially down at the bottom, it looks like it's getting a little small or a little hard to read. Maybe, again, um, I don't mind that. I mean, it's probably a little small just because I brought it down in size, but the one thing I want you to note that I don't like and that I really don't want to see on your menus. And I'm gonna I usually just say this is something I really don't want to see this on your menu. I do not want to see your price of your menu, the pricing of your menu with the prices bigger than the description. Okay, I want those prices smaller. Okay, I do not want large prices. I want them smaller, and I want the prices kind of right at the end of the description. I do not want them lined up like this. I want them at the end of the description. Does everybody understand that? So when you are making your menu, um, I do not want those prices so big, and I don't want them lined up. That's just the, we're trying to make money, and again, we're not trying to cheat people out of anything. We're trying to do is to make sure that that price is not so spotlighted, in all of that. I just want to make sure you don't spotlight it. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right. That's the only thing I have to say about this one. Just pictures I'm okay with. I think the pictures are a little bit big and they're maybe not the best ones, but I mean, I still, they're very colorful, and that's what I like about it. Let's see. Now, I'm not so jazzed. Actually, what do y'all think about that menu? Y'all like the color? Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent. I mean, it is they're using the colorist scheme, that kind of a very kind of a not so um, bright, color. I'm cool with that. Um, let's see. I'm indifferent about that one. I mean, I would accept it, but I'm not so jazzed about it. The one thing I don't like is how the numbers are really bold. Do you see how dark those numbers are? You don't want them that dark. I would never have it that dark. Hey guys, let's take a 5-minute break. I just hear someone knocking at my front door. Can y'all give me a second? All right, I don't know why someone's knocking this early. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right. Hey, actually, let's take 5 minutes and we'll come back in 5 minutes. Sorry, guys, my neighbor's dog got in my backyard, so I had to go get it. All right, so getting back to what I was talking about, let's see, special effects or any of that type of deal, and that would be, I don't know, so something that could or special elements of things that you could put in there. Um, Visual effects, anything that could make your customers kind of make whatever it is pop or or get their attention in any way, shape, or form. That is so important to do. If not, their eyes are just going to scan right over it. They're going to just not even pay attention to whatever that item is. So you want things to stand out, to be attractive to the eye, something, anything that could just make people go, wow, I want this, or whatever else. Pricing strategies. And we kind of, I think we have discussed this before, but you want to study the market. You want to see what the other people are doing, but again, you never want to, you need to cost everything out, right? So, I mean, granted, if it's costed out and it costs not much money, and your neighbors or your restaurant down the street sells a burger for $10 and or whatever else, you might want to have comparable prices, because if you are too low, right, some people will think if it's too low, it might be too good to be true, right? Or you're not using good product or whatever else. So sometimes if your prices are too low, people have a bad thought about that. It could be that, or they're using poor quality food or whatever else, or, so there might be some issues, but make sure that, the pricing is comparable to the neighborhood. And honestly, it's going to be, because if you did your due diligence, and the due diligence is, going and checking, who your clientele is and how much they or how much they are willing to spend, because each I would say class or each group of people, right, have what I would call a threshold, a threshold of how much money they are willing to spend on a certain day or a certain time, or at a certain dish or whatever else. So you need to make sure that the pricing hits that that mark a little bit. It's all good. I think a lot of people are having connective issues today anyway. Um, but so just making sure that you're keeping the price in check on that, placing the price at the end of the description for sure. And that's the one thing I asked you to do for that. Guide, you can use boxes or colors or borders or anything to guide your customers to the higher profitability or higher profit items, like the, I don't know, chicken fried steak or the chicken fried chicken, or any of the things that are going to be very cheap for me to make, but I make a large amount of money every time I sell it. So making sure that I spotlight those very high profitable items, and that would be for you when you're making your menu in the next week or so. after you cost out your recipes, we're going to see what is the highest profitability and all of that sort of stuff. So where, on the menu, you can italicize it or do something to spotlight that. Let's see, quarters, boxes. Let's see. It says, avoid the dollar sign. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with you taking the dollar sign off and just doing just a number. And then, I'm not going to say it is wrong. You can put the cents but I would do 75, 95, or I'm sorry, I would do 99 or 95 or 97 or something like that. You can do the change if you want to, but if you don't, you don't have to. You can make it just a round number is fine by me. But making sure you don't make the price bold. Make sure you don't, make the price bigger than the description. Whatever size your description font is the size you can just put the dollar amount right after the description or the amount that it's going to be. Menu planning, before the restaurant ever even begins, the executive chef needs to plan the menu, right? I mean, why is that? Can someone tell me why before we even need before the restaurant even begins operation, the menu needs to be planned. And the reason is because we need to know what kind of equipment we need, right? Do we need a grill? Do we need a fryer? Do we need this? Do we need that? Those are the things that we need to know before we can actually, so you need to make the menu before we can actually kind of do anything else. And then, once you get all of that, you then prepare, prep and finish in each item and then, prepare it and make sure you have the right equipment, right plates, the bowls. If you're doing a cup of soup, you need cups, you need bowls, you need ladles, you need all of those things. If you're going to do soup, you're going to need a ladle. You're going to need a soup holder, soup well, or something to keep the soup warm. All of those things. So, that's so important. The menu is so important. And you need to know, your mise en place. What do you need to prep? How do you need to prep? What stations you need? If you're not going to be frying anything, well, you don't need a fry station. You don't need a whatever else. So just making sure you know what kind of mise en place you need, what kind of portioning you're going to need. It is so important. The menu is absolutely probably one of the most important things. Oh, there we go. Foods that must be prepared ahead of time. All right, so just making sure you understand, and then let's see. All right, just kind of planning a menu. Okay, so menu planning and the kitchen.
They say your screen froze.
Hello? Are y'all there?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Y'all got, okay. Sorry. I think I lost my internet. My apologies. Are y'all there still? No. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, great, great. Thank you. All right. Let me share my screen. My apologies. I lost internet for a second. All right. So when you make a menu, right, you need to make sure once you get the menu, you separate it to all the different stations. You've got the fry station, you have the grill station, you have all of that, and then you need to make sure you have a prep sheet, right? They need to you need to get a prep sheet together, right? So they know exactly, excuse me, what they need to prep and to cook and to get ready. So we were talking about what was it? Probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We were talking about like a booklet, a systems booklet of basically a book that shows all the recipes, what kind of prep they need, how it needs to be put together, maybe even a par list of how many steaks you should get out every day, or how many fish you should be prepared to cook. But a par sheet or a prep sheet, and kind of a prep list, and then having a standardized prep list for for each station and what they need on a daily basis. That helps make sure your employees stay with what needs to be happening. Stay with their station, make sure their station is prepped up correctly. And this all goes into, if you didn't have a menu, you couldn't set up a part or a prep sheet. You couldn't do any of that, your mise en place. And so having a menu is so important. Benefits for a standardized menu, and we've kind of talked about, and that's kind of with the standardization. But it benefits of a standardized menu, standardizes par levels, for slow and busy shifts. Here's a par level for a busy shift. You need 15 fish out, or a slow night, you might need only 5 fish. So that kind of prep wise, so you're not over prepping. And if you over prep stuff, you could potentially be throwing away stuff, because it could easily, it could go bad fast and all of that. So making sure, it's standardized recipes are so important. It manages my cost, because I know exactly how much a recipe is going to cost to make. It makes sure that there's consistency across the board. Makes it easy to prep and to standardize everything, because it's right there, and no matter what, the employee knows exactly what to do, and it's standard across the board. And it helps with prepping sheet. Who works in a kitchen right now? Anybody? Okay, so do y'all have prep sheets? Or like a prep sheet that you got to get prepped, your station prep sheet, or you create a prep sheet, or even maybe there's a communal prep sheet. And I used to do this when I was managing. I would have, each station would have their prep sheet, but also there would be a communal prep sheet of that this prep needs to get done. So everybody kind of works together to get that prep done, like just whatever the communal prep is, but making sure that you have that. Let's see. All right, so so standardizing, okay, here's a 1-column prep sheet right here. And you know, like the 8-ounce sockeye salmon, and that's skin on. So that would be S on, that'd be skin on, 8-ounce sockeye salmon, skin on. They've got slow par would be 25, busy par would be 50. And then, you know, and then you can kind of just count, okay, on Monday you prep this or whatever else. So you have basically a par stock or a par level for busy, and it's a cheat sheet basically. I mean, that's kind of what it is. It helps you kind of help you with your pars, and so where you're not pulling out or prepping too much stuff, because if you do that, it could potentially go bad fast. And again, sockeye salmon is really, you know, expensive. King salmon is expensive. Lobster bisque can be expensive, but you know, all, like I would say, the fish, you know, king salmon, sockeye salmon, coho, those are all expensive salmons, and you know, they're wild. Coho and the sockeye and the probably, you know, king would be wild, so it's wild caught salmon, so that's expensive. And if I prep too many, I'm losing lots of money. So it really helps you out, and it helps you forecast for the next week and for the next year, because again, we're forecasting. We're trying to do educated guesses. We're trying to educate or have an educated guess, and you know, and I look at, you know, so where, you know, we're not losing a lot of stuff out of waste. You know, here's a basic prep list or slow par, busy par. You prep this. How much do you prep? You do a gallon, 5 gallons, 4-inch pan, 6-inch pan, whatever else. But you know, those are prep list, or par list, prep / par list. Another this is bar prep or a salad prep, maybe a buffet prep. You know, you could do here. So again, just talking about preps. Typical restaurants have a layout feature, several different work. Okay, so basically just different workstations. You just need to make sure that all your stations are running smoothly, and with the par level and the par stock and the prep lists and all of those things in the standardized recipes, and all of those things put together will make your station run very, very smoothly. And you know, with your standardized recipe, I know, you know, like you know, there's a section for equipment. How much equipment do you need? I know exactly what I need before I do it, right? So whenever I get to that point of getting ready to cook my product or do my product, I know exactly what I need and how long and all of that. So where I'm not wasting time, I'm not having to run around with like chicken with the head cut off type of deal of just kind of my employees are not wasting any time and wasting my money. So that is important as well. Making sure that the prep areas, that my employees have good prep areas and that they're prepping where their stations are. You know, and it's the station or the areas are good for, you know, they have refrigeration and coolers. So when they are prepping stuff, they can keep that stuff in the cooler or whatever else. So where they're not time temperature abusing product. Let's say I don't have a bunch of refrigerators at my stations, right? And then by the sushi station, there's no refrigeration area. So I'm having to walk over to I don't know, I don't see a walk-in cooler, but let's say these two items over here on this far end is the walk-in cooler and all of that. I've got to, if I'm doing sushi here, I've got to walk all my fish all over here and put it back into the cooler here. Well, that sanitation wise, all of that sort of stuff, not the best. What if all my dry storage, all my herbs and spices and all of that is all stored over here? Well, it's not the best over here. You need to kind of maybe put it over here so where the workflow is a little more smoother. So where when they're prepping, they're not wasting time. Let's see, layout, several different workstations, food prepping, running smoothly, like I said, just making sure everything's run smooth. It does not, you don't have a lot of hiccups and also, oops, going back to here, well, if this is the door right here, if this is the door going out of the restaurant, let's say, and I've got my stations kind of set up here, well, this is not the best. Where am I going to be putting all the food? I'm going to have a runner here, a runner here, a runner here. You know, so where having a station, you know, a kitchen lined up so where it's kind of all in one straight shot, that's kind of the best because of the flow. The flow of the station does not really work. You need a good flowing station. Saute station, you know, I mean, you pan, you can saute, you can fry, you can, you know, any of that sort of stuff. But a saute station, you know, you need a lot of burners, right? You need a lot of burners. You need a lot of saute pans. A lot of things are used. A lot of items are sauteed. You gotta like vegetables, you know, pastas, any of those things. So you need to make sure you manage those stations. Hold on, let me see how many more slides because we're almost. Yeah, we're almost done. So let me just push through and I'll let y'all out and y'all are gonna work on your project. So the grill station, you know, again, lots of different things you can do. Saute, you know, like grilled chicken, kebabs, you know, fish, you name it. I'm not gonna list all the things you can grill, but you know, there are hundreds of things you could grill. But you know, it's, you know, just making sure that, you know, in a grill station, you need to know how to properly cook medium well done, you know, medium, rare, black and blue, in any of those things. You need to know how to, you know, cook the poultry, cook the fish. So, you know, there are a lot of this station right here is probably one of the most expensive stations to work. Because you have so many expensive items. You got fish, you have, you know, you can overcook things so quickly that it could cost me lots of money if I have an inexperienced person working that station. Fry station, I think the fry station is probably one of the harder stations if you have to bread and all of that. You know, if the grease is too, you know, if you don't bread it properly, the breading falls off. It gets greasy. It's, you know, if the grease is too old, it has a bad flavor. If the grease is not hot enough, it gets ultra greasy. And then if the grease is too hot, it could easily brown the outside and have the raw center. So you really need to, you know, I've seen people, you know, get raw chicken and all of that from the fry station. You just need to be very careful and always manage that fryer and make sure. And I cannot stress this enough, guys. I cannot stress this enough. There's always different fryers for different things. You do not fry your fish in the same thing that you're going to fry your churros in or whatever else. You don't. You need to make sure you have multiple fryers. If you're going to have, if you're going to fry any fish, you need a fish fryer, a fryer just dedicated to fish alone, because you do not want to have your donuts or your fried whatever, whatever you're frying a dessert wise to taste like fish or to taste like shrimp or to taste like, corn dogs or whatever. I don't know. But, you need to make sure of that and make sure that, things are cooked properly and to the temperature. This is the one thing that I see a lot is, things from the fry station getting sent back because they're not cooked properly. And here are some restaurant pictures right here, just to show you kind of the prep and how you need to have prep ready, because again, you're cooking multiple things, so many, you need to have prep and kind of have everything kind of ready for you, right? Here's they're setting up kind of an assembly line type of deal. This is probably one of my favorite. I love this picture. I love the station. I love how they have copper pots here. I love how the station is right in the center right here, and they kind of that's probably one of my favorite kitchen pictures. I just love the way it's set up. It's got the French top or the flat top right there. I love it. That's someone doing prep. Again, just you're prepping during non-kitchen service time, getting ready to butcher and butchering product. Here is a salad bar, a lot of prep. This is someone had to do this prep, right? Depending on the facility, I probably would get someone to do most of this prep. I would not buy any of this pre-made. I would have to get someone to cut up this, roast the corn, cut it off the corn cob, cook the chicken, all of that. So all of this would be hand done for at my restaurant if I was doing it. So again, pasta station, having just everything set up ready to go, because it's all about your mise en place and it's all about your prep. Sushi as well, you've got to have your sushi rice, you've got to have everything prepped, ready to go to produce the food, because the customers want the food when they want the food, not when we want to give them the food, right? So here's some other pictures. Here we go. All right. So we have, on day 20, for the people that were not here when I first started class, so where the costing recipes are for the costing of the recipes. Okay. So go to the portal or onto the, I think, the portal. You're going to scroll down. You're going to find day 20. Whatever day, wherever day 20 is, you're going to click on day 20 right here. And right here, the second one, this one is the PowerPoint. This one is the costing sheet. You're going to click on the costing sheet, and this is going to come up. You're going to go to File, you're gonna make a copy and you're gonna name it your name, Cliff, whatever, and then I'm gonna hit okay. And then this is going to be your copy. Now, what we have here is I've got a one that's already filled out for you. Okay, and it kind of gives you an idea of how to fill it out. So this is going to be, you're going to put this down. And what I want you to do, I want everybody to use 30% as the food cost. Everybody will use 30% in all your recipes. You can just use 30%. Okay, but I will show you how to calculate this or do this. What I need you to do, this is, I need you to plug in all your stuff right here, put in all the weights, all the volumes, and put the amount, the price amounts right here. Okay, and then on Friday, I'm going to show you kind of, and we're going to kind of go over the rest of this, but it's 30%. So, and you're going to need to make sure you put the serving, your total, you know, the serving right here. You need to put the name of, follow exactly these two right here. Do exactly the way they did it. And I've got copies of them all right here. Okay. The order guide for some of the pricing is right here. And, oh, hold on. And then there is another order guide right down below, right down here. Okay. So you use those to fill out your costing sheet. Any questions, any problems about that? Now, I'm going to post a few examples of menus, of some designs of menus today on day 21, and that's for today. So I will be posting some copies of menus on day 21. Okay, so the best menu, I would say website is Must Have Menus. Must Have Menus is a great website to use to create a menu. Okay, but I will show you that, you know, a little bit later on. But please work on your costing sheet. That is the most important thing that needs to get done today, or that needs to get done. Because if you don't get that costing sheet done, that is a huge portion of your project. Questions, problems, concerns, issues? We good? All right. Well, y'all have a great day. I'm going to be here. I've got a few meetings today, so I'm going to just be sitting at my computer pretty much all day. So if you need me for anything, you can call me, text me. I can even log back onto Zoom if you need to, you know, talk to me face to face or whatever else. But other than that, y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Chef. You too.
Thank you, guys.
You too, Chef.
Thank you,
Stay
Chef.
safe. Take care.
You as well. Bye, guys.